just gonna go for it, see where this takes us. Just my own little book. I have a few projects that I'm gonna start working on.
Almond butters with cinnamon.
And I very much shopped in a color palette. I got this. We went to the farmer's market. Never used gouache before in my life. Hello guys, welcome back to the vlog. Happy Sunday. It has been a few days of just me turning off or attempting to. I feel like it's literally been about 2.5 years of doing the cottage and everything. It's just like I needed to just like tell my brain to stop working and to stop thinking about projects and to stop being on the computer and on my phone and just like doing like work related things and just like reset. We had the party, which you guys saw last vlog. We had the housewarming party, and that was work in and of itself. It's like we had to clean the whole house and then do food and get ready and like set everything up and then host, and then we had to clean. Like 2 days later, we picked up all the food obviously, and then 2 days later I had to go outside, pick up all the decorations and things because I couldn't do it the day of. I was like, I'm so tired, I just want to lay down. So that really wasn't resting. So we kind of came off of my birthday and went to a wedding and then had the party. So now this weekend was the first weekend that I could actually like just chill out. So yesterday, Romeo and I just drove around all day to yard sales. I don't think we came back home until like 3 p.m. because we just kind of kept going from one to another and wherever it took us. So we went to like lots of different cities, just like going to all the garage sales. And I'm so happy because we found 5 old, worn, used basketballs, all for $1 a piece. Well, some of the yard sales that we were going to, people were thinking that this was like a high-end luxury boutique or something. These prices were crazy. And I mean, the stuff was like on the floor, like, and it wasn't like that great to begin with. So it's like yard sales should be yard sale prices. People that are looking to clear out space in their house, clear out their garage, you know, like whatever was left over from spring cleaning and just kind of like purge. So I feel like yard sales should be the lowest priced items that you can find secondhand, right? And then you have thrift stores and flea markets, and those are like real businesses, but this is like in your front yard, you know, like you're just trying to like move through things. So we went to a couple that were really expensive, and then we went to a few, or more so a lot of them that were just like make an offer, take it, you know. Like we got some new cute little babies for Kinsley. I have some stuff outside that I'll show you. This was actually one of the boutique-y ones, but still the prices weren't too bad. Like I was thinking of it like, okay, if this was at a flea market or if this was at a thrift store, like would I buy it? And I got this little painting. I paid $20 for this. It's old, you know, like I felt like it was pretty. And I got a table that I'll show you outside, which I think was relatively good, like a reasonable price. We got all the basketballs. I got some Christmas ornaments outside that I'll show you. And I got this vase for $1. Everything that she had was like $1. The basketball, the 3 Christmas ornaments, and this vase, $1. I'm kind of obsessed with this color right now, this cornflower blue color. You guys are probably like, MaCenna, stop talking about cornflower blue. I can't help it. It's like I'm attracted to it. Watch, because then over the weekend, there were a couple of estate sales around that we were kind of checking out. One just like, the house was just like magnificent. It was very like Mediterranean, very like Spanish. A lot of the furniture was more Mexican style wooden furniture. So I did get one thing that I'll show you outside, but like, you know, like nothing too crazy. But the house was just like pretty magnificent actually. It was huge. And I got this from Barney's, New York in Italy. Now, if you know what Barney's is, Barney's used to be a department store of like high-end luxury like department store. Then I believe it's been like, I think like 10 years. I believe what happened is Saks Fifth Avenue bought them and then shut them down. And so Saks took over their locations. And I remember going to Barney's like years ago and just like oogling at all of like shiny like fashion and things, like so amazing. But this is actually from their location in Italy. It's never been used. and it's got like the like cardstock paper, off-white paper, and then it's got a pretty little like in between like translucent paper in it. And I followed Tara Michelle on YouTube, and she was like scrapbooking all of her stuff recently, and I was like, oh, we could put, like, we have boxes and boxes of stuff, of keepsakes from, like, Romeo and I have been together for 15 years. So we have so much, and most of it's in storage, but I want to kind of pull it out, especially like from our trip to Paris and like Europe. When we toured Europe, we've like got like souvenirs, and especially while that stuff is kind of like fresh in my memory and things, like I want to start putting it into a very chic. So we did yard sailing, and we went to that estate sale, but there was one estate sale yesterday that actually stopped at 2 o'clock that I didn't get to go to. So we went to today.
What's not to like? I have a set of these already.
Huh?
I have a set of these already. Oh my god! Look at Andy. It's not your fault the pen's missing. It's not. That wasn't your fault.
Ceramic. And I very much shopped in a color palette. I'm very into this blue color, I know, but I bought this coffee mug. And this, look at the bird on the back. Look at all the detail inside. That was so cute. It was $8, but this estate sale, since it was the last day, it was 20% off. So I got, what, $1.60 off of this. And I also got this blue stoneware pot, just like kind of like a handmade kind of pot, but I thought it really went with, like, I think I'm kind of collecting these like blue things because it goes really well and pairs really well with our dinnerware from Fable, you know, like even like a low arrangement on a table with the blue, and you know, kind of collecting like hosting things, or this is just a pretty pot in general. And when I pulled this out, I didn't quite know that the book was going to be blue. I kind of thought it was like a dusty black. No, blue, but look how pretty this is. John O'Hara from The Terrace. I also loved the pages. They were like more organic, like organically cut. Printed in 1958. Thought it was a pretty book. So today we kind of had to decide if we were going to go to the Rose Bowl flea market. I think we go through this phase every summer with the Rose Bowl because it's so big that you have to go super early in order to like kind of beat the heat, and it gets really hot in Pasadena. And since I had just been to the flea market, today we opted not to go to the flea market. Instead, we went to the farmer's market, and I've been dying to go to I haven't been to a farmer's market since we've been back, and just to get some produce and flowers.
I don't like being on my own. I could use someone to hold.
Oh my gosh, almond butters with cinnamon. Wait, I've never tried that. Almond butter with chocolate chip and espresso? Wait, what?
Pistachio butter.
Pistachio? I want to try this.
Just waiting for love, waiting for love. Try to forget about what makes me restless.
show you what I got. Okay, so I have a few projects that I'm going to start working on this week. So these will be live on Sunday, but I've been gathering supplies. I needed to order some like supplies. I don't want to give too much away because it's going to be like super like fun, like more slower, like more like my DIY thrift flip videos. I have 3 projects I think I want to work on for this Sunday. One of them is this curio cabinet. And so pretty, but it's got like this like yellowed luster to it, like almost like it was sealed and then the sealer has started to yellow. So they used like an oil-based sealer, and I don't know if it's gonna come up on in person. Yeah, I kind of see how yellow it is. But what I want is to strip it down and also almost make it look like that antique cabinet that when you walk in, the pretty one, the when you walk into our entryway, ashy kind of worn color. I want it to, you know, to kind of have some balance to that one. So I love it. I want it for the dining room, and we're gonna be able to put, I want to fix this too because I hate this. I feel like it could be so much prettier to close. And I love this though. Look how pretty this is, but they don't match. But this one's pretty too though, but I don't know. We need to do some things to it to make it a really special piece. You see where they kind of tried to sand it? So it definitely used to be green. So it's definitely better than that. But, you know, I love the door. I love all the lights in the glass. This is something I got recently at an estate sale last weekend. I got this from the estate sale this weekend. It was on their outdoor patio, so it's definitely worn in wood. It may or may not be teak. It's definitely patinaed, and it was outside, so it could be. I don't quite know how to tell if it's teak or not, honestly. Like, how do you tell? Doesn't it look like it? I loved the shape of the legs. It was just like a really unique piece. I've been looking for a side table for outside because I was looking online. Side tables that are teak, that are for the outdoors, pretty expensive. I was seeing like $300. I'm like, ugh. I bought this. How much did I spend on this one? 100? And I also got this one at a yard sale. This one was 40 bucks. It was really pretty. Definitely a side table height. I have a bench currently as one of the side tables in the guest bedroom for my mom. And I've been keeping my eyes peeled for one that kind of looks like the other one. So this one's square and that one's round. But it's better than the stool, and I can use the stool somewhere else. So let's clean this guy up. At least get just the cobwebs off. And look, we just found this one this morning, and I'm putting it with the collection. Aren't those cool? So there's 4 of them. We have a 5th one somewhere. If you guys don't remember, I think maybe it was a couple months ago now, Romeo was asking for advice on decorating his office upstairs and his vintage kind of studio where he sells out of. I was like, oh, you're gonna let me design it? Oh my gosh. And there is a clothing brand that he loves, Aimé Leon d'Or. And they have, I think they're based out of New York originally, but they have a boutique in London where they did this basketball art installation. And I want to do something like that, or pretty much just like that, in his room somehow. But we needed to get our hands on at least 12 basketballs at least, and I was looking at flea markets, I was looking everywhere, and I just couldn't find any. And yard sales have come through lately. We paid $1 for each of those, and one of the guys was just trying to give it to us. Placement of this table, we either have between the 2 loungers over there because we don't have anything, or here. I moved this one from the patio up there here because I was sitting here more often. So either way, I originally thought here because of the current coloring, but eventually those loungers are also going to be silver and patinaed. Just over time, that's how it naturally kind of happens. So I feel like it would look great over here. Looks kind of good. I mean, that looks really good. I mean, naturally, they're gonna all look the same eventually. But you see how tall it is? So like if I was sitting here like this, oh, that's so good. Wait, that's good. I feel like over there it would be too tall. Okay, so this is the bench that I want to replace. The other one's not round, it's more octagon. I don't know how many sides it was. I need to count the sides. I just looked at it really quick. But I wanted it to be kind of eclectic until we found like more permanent things. But like a piece like this could be used pretty much anywhere, you know, tucked into a corner with like a lamp on it, or like as a plant stand. I also saw, when I was there, I saw a sled that I was like, ooh, this could be. So if you follow me on Instagram, you saw my stories. Like I asked you guys throughout the day when I was going yard sailing, if like, oh, yes or no, like, should I get this? And there was a sled for Christmas. Use this like outside, like at the front door. I had this kind of realization that is something more like, because it was so rustic and it was so worn and a lot of the wood was kind of like, how do I explain it? It wasn't perfect. It wasn't, not even close to being perfect. It was a lot more rustic. Differentiate what I would buy for the cottage and what I would buy for this house, because they do have different vibes. And even though it's my style, this house is a little more polished, and when things can't really be like broken, you know, like I feel like at the cottage I'm like, oh, I don't really care if a frame has like corners that are like, you know, not there anymore, and it just kind of works because there's just this like very antique vibe. Now I'm in this mindset of like, okay, no, it needs to be perfect. No, I can't fix that. We're gonna have to, you know, try something else. So when I saw that sled, it kind of dawned on me. I'm like, you know what? That's something that I would actually buy for the cottage, and like that it was kind of all worn. I left it, but I did get this and a little picture. So I've been really cautious of the frames as well. Like if they're really broken and I can't fix them, I haven't been getting them. I had to kind of raise the lamp up onto books because it wasn't tall enough on the stool. Okay, see now this one is a little taller than that one. So now I need to put the books over there. That would bother me. That would actually bother me a lot if the lamps were two different heights. You see how this one's lower over here? So it wasn't until just right now that I realized I actually missed filming for those several days. I haven't filmed since July 4th. So that was 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 4 days without filming. 4 days isn't the longest I've gone without filming because I do have that break after Vlogmas, but it was kind of lonely. I'm not gonna lie. I just realized right now I kind of missed you guys. It's just, I get to share like my projects or what I'm working on, and we get to design together, like do those projects together. And I talked to Romeo, but you know, he doesn't give me the interaction that you guys give me on the comments. So, and I can call my mom. I know I can do that, but it's just not the same. I've had this idea for a while, so I've had the supplies for a while. I just haven't had time to just feel like I can dedicate to this a little bit. But now is the time. So I saw this girl on TikTok have this book or journal, if you will, and she paints on all the pages. So it becomes like a book of her art. Now, my mom is an incredible painter, and I'm hoping that she has passed along that painting skill to me, and just for myself. So I had this idea to make this like my garden book. I took a whole bunch of beautiful pictures and moments of our garden and just like different shots, different up close or far away. You guys know how obsessed I am with this house and how obsessed I am with the garden. I don't know, something in me was like, oh, that would be another kind of decompression kind of project for me. And I was thinking what kind of medium I wanted to go with to paint. Did I want to do acrylic? I thought about watercolor because I have done watercolors before. That girl that I saw, she used gouache paint. So I got these sets from Amazon, and they're ranging in colors. Like the tone is different in each like set. I wonder if they're called something. Oh, this is the autumn. Traditional colors of Japan in autumn. And winter. So I got autumn, winter, and spring. And you can really tell like the colors are very like more warm for autumn. And I was trying to pick the sets that were going to give me the colors that are in our garden. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like buying paints. Never used gouache before in my life. And then the winter, oh no, this is the spring. Like just like fresh. Like this one's so pretty. So I went to the Blick art store and I got a sketchbook. This sketchbook is kind of like a light blue color too. And I got primary white because I know I was probably gonna need it. I got ivory white, beige. So those are kind of like my whiter kind of bases. And I also got lamp black because there is, I don't know, felt like I needed black and white. I feel like that was like necessary. It's very much a beginner kind of medium. And it's kind of halfway between a watercolor and an acrylic. That was my understanding. Don't quote me on that, but that's kind of what I read. I'm like saying like, oh, I'm nervous. I hope this goes well. But also this is just for fun. Like I can totally get rid of this book if it looks bad. Also, I got some brushes. I ordered these brushes. I thought they were so pretty and like wooden handles. I'll leave everything linked for you, but look how beautiful. Okay, gathering supplies is kind of what I'm good at. It's like, now what? I've never painted with this before. I have watched a few tutorials on like how to mix the water with the paint because you do need to water it down like kind of like watercolor, but more like a thicker paste. You don't want it too watery, but you don't want it too thick either. And this feels good. Like these papers aren't quite as thick as I thought they were going to be, but they do have watercolor books like this from Moleskine that are thicker, but the orientation of them are long ways. And I didn't want that. I wanted one that looked like a journal. I have this plate that I specifically got to like use for mixing my paints. The other one I had chipped, which we're gonna do another like kind of DIY on soon. But I felt like a plate would be better because it would keep the paints kind of centralized. It wouldn't like ooze somewhere. So when I was taking these pictures, the sprinklers had just turned on, so it was getting some of the roses in the front here kind of wet. And I took the prettiest picture. I love this one so much. I feel like we need to do this one. I don't want to start too complicated, like getting like portions of the house where I have to kind of do that. I kind of want to just start with a flower. So I'm going to use some washi tape to make like a border. And then I'm going to sketch out the outline of the flowers and the little buds that are coming in. And then we can start to kind of paint around it and mix our colors. Here is my rough sketch of my flowers. If you can see, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I just need the outlines, like get me in the right direction. I feel like right now I'm trying to force myself to slow down. I'm trying to force my brain to stop thinking about anything else than what I'm working on. The only thing that I've ever been able to get to do that to me is painting a room. So I'm trying. I don't always have a room to paint, you know, to really like just like it's my therapy. So I'm trying to make this into another thing, or like reading my books and stuff, so that I just have something like productive to do with my hands, but physically my body's really resting. And I'm having a mental war in my head. Literally, the whole time I was sketching this, and I'm like thinking about a to-do list and making plans for things that I need to do for a future project, and remembering things that I need to order for a future project, or things about Paris when we're like planning our trip and stuff. My mind won't turn off, and it's just like it takes me a minute to get there. So let's see what colors we have here. I need some greens. I need like more of a limey green. Oh no, this has like, do I need any brown? I don't need any brown in here. Of this color, actually, that's like the perfect color. Like right here in the joints, the roses start to grow in this reddish color. Like
I found like with new growth, that's really the color that it is kind of like this reddish purple. Oh, here's all my greens. Definitely. I'll just pull the greens out. That's a definite. Kind of like this beige color on the underneath, I feel like will be handy. So we want this to be like a thick paste consistency. Oh, the ones that I got from Amazon are definitely thicker. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of water on the plate just to get me going. We're just gonna go for it. See where this takes us. You know what I mean? Just go for it. It's just my own little book.
I wonder if this is how my mom felt the first time she tried to paint.
I'm gonna do the white base and then create like some dimension. Kind of using the beige color to make that shadow so that the petals look different. I've got kind of the light, like the whites and the pinks going. I want to start on the green on the background. This is gonna make me nervous. I want it to feel like random and like leaves because it's all leaves. So I'm kind of just like blotting it. This is the darkest green I have. I'm thinking that it's gonna dry darker. Well, I can't say that I'm so much more relaxed now than when I started. I think I needed time for my brain to actually shut off. And then once I started mixing the colors and really like, you know, painting and not drawing, I started to really relax. I'm so calm right now. I've learned a few things about gouache paint. It's very forgiving. It's actually, I really like it. It really is halfway between watercolor and acrylic. It's not so watery, but it's really forgiving. Like if I put a color and I didn't like it, it was like too intense, I could kind of add more water and kind of like brush it away almost. And then if I wanted like color to be really pigmented on top, I don't know if this is like the proper way to do it, but I was kind of like adding the amount of water I needed in order to make the paint the opacity or like you know, like level I wanted it to be. So this is where we're at with my art. Grass is really hard, I've learned. Making it like feel wispy. I feel like it's very flat right now. Like I need to add more dimension. And the background looks like muddy. Like that, the background was hard. For my first attempt, I feel like this is pretty good. So my goal this summer, or maybe not this summer, maybe this year, because that's a lot of pages. My goal is to fill the book and to gradually get better. Like by the end of the book, you can flip from the end to the beginning and see the improvement, because this is like the first one. But for the first one, it's not bad. That's not bad. I definitely know that I need more smaller brushes, like this like tiny brush, like this one I use the most. So I'm thinking I maybe even need smaller than this. I use this one, and surprisingly I used this one to make kind of like the leaves. It helped a lot because it was like more sparse. And then I used the angled brush a lot. Oh, this one. I used this brush a lot. Those three were my go-to. So I didn't really use it. I think if I was doing like a bigger painting, I would have used more of the other ones, but I'm not. So not too bad. We get to peel off the tape now.
And using the washi tape just makes for like such a crisp line. I also over here I did the post as well because it was white. I don't know if you're really going to be able to see it, but I know what it is.
Okay, I just changed into something cozy because the temperature kind of dropped a little bit. We are headed to Orange County, quite a far drive, to Romeo's basketball game. It's kind of nice to get back into the same routine we had before like the pandemic of like he has Sunday basketball games, he plays in a league, he really loves it. It gives me routine too. I have my own routines, but it's really nice. So we're gonna head down there. He's gonna play, probably have lunch with some friends, or dinner with some friends rather, and then come back.
At the beginning of the year, I was already starting to see those physical and mental things start to creep in that I was on the verge of burnout. Technology was really draining my energy. Like spending an hour on TikTok, mindlessly scrolling, left me feeling horrible. But I think that there's a balance to make it healthy. There is nothing in this world more that I want right now than a baby. And I have never felt that before. So I'm getting choked up. Anyways, so going into the summer, turning 35, I was like, I'm going to spend the summer in California at home, and I'm going to slow down.